Alright, what's good, YouTube? It's the King here. Aqua Life, baby. You already know how it is. I missed. Alright, so we have the infamous Black Steve once again with his
Gear Chronicle deck.
Yes, and he did pull 2 SP packs, so this deck is worth quite a bit. I'm gonna let him do the talking.
Right. Starter's Chronojet. Best card. And the best boy, Chronojet Dragon next stage. Chrono Dragon next stage, I want to say. This card is just amazing. Like, basically a pseudo restand gives your Chronojet in the soul plus 15 and re-rides it. So it makes like very powerful plays with Chrono and with Chronojet skill, like it's unblockable. At first, I was playing this deck with Force 1. I was like a huge advocate for Force 1. But after playing it, it's like if you tailor the deck a certain way, like Force 2 is the best bet. Especially for this format. Like Force 2 is the best gift marker this format, hands down. Then I played 1 copy of Metallica Phoenix, This is a standard vanilla like triple drive. It's okay. What I do like going into, I taking 1 copy of Rebellion. Rebellion, like if you people who played Carnal Fang, they know this card from where it was like you discard multiple cards, and based on how many cards you have in hand, it's the ability. We have 5 or less. It gets you get to retire 2 front row rear guards. This is the main ability I usually play with because Neo Nectars have their like fairy token, and and also Royals in this set have grade 2s in the rear guard front row that are pretty dangerous. So it's a good way to if you're going first, it's a good option, especially if you were getting rushed. So this is probably like a good option. So that's like 6 4s to play. Like usually people don't run more than 5, but I'm trying this out. I haven't run into any issues with it yet, but that's what I like using. Only grade 3 run in the deck, Chronojet next stage. Like this is probably the best card in the deck, to be honest with you. Like you put it on the rear guard, like it's a dangerous column, especially when you put Steam Breath behind them. Like for those who don't know, like his ability is like when it attacks, you counterblast 1, it gets 5k. Your opponent can't use Sentinels. That's like really good too, because a lot of people are starting to like tech in copies of the crit Sentinels, and it just this just blocks it out, so they have to hard guard without any other cards. So you want to make them use this as much as possible, because they're gonna use your perfect guards against next stage. So the stronger you make this column, the better. So when your Vanguard column, it's probably best to have like Steam Breath behind you. Like Steam Breath's the best grade 1 in terms of power in the deck. For grade 2s, I run 4 Steam Mechanic Nabu. Like this card is just amazing. For its effect, for those who don't know, its ability is you bind the card from your drop zone, and when it attacks, you bind the card from your drop zone, and your opponent can only guard trigger units. And at the end of the battle, it goes into the soul and draw. So this is your main soul charging card in the deck. This is the only card that actually does soul charge that I know of, and it's just draw power. It just replaces your hand and everything. It's just pretty good, especially when combined with my man's Smoke Gear Dragon, or I call him Smoke Gear. Smoke Gear, he is so good too, because he attacks the Vanguard, he gets +5, and if you rolled a grade 4 this turn, the turn that he attacked, you get the Soul Blast 1 and draw a card. So basically, it works in conjunction. You can have both of them on the field at the same time. Use this and then use this, and you basically just draw 2 off the card. It's such a great card. Also, if you're on Chronojet, which you always will be, you can discard any card, and it'll count as a grade 3. No, anytime you discard a card, it counts as a grade 3. So it's gonna work in conjunction with grade 1. I'm gonna show you a little later on. That's that. And next is Steam Breaker Duty. Like, for those of you who are like probably wondering like, why are you not running the Kabu? Well, I do have Kabus. I was running it at 4 at first, but I realized that it was more of like a win more card. Like, it used up a lot of counter blast, which you want to use for Chronojet, and extra drive could be nice, but it doesn't. It's not as effective in the long run, because you do want to save as much counter blast from the Chronojet as possible, and also the Chrono Tooth. So that's that. This card is just great because whatever AK booster you had, whatever booster you had behind it, it makes a 10, like gives it +5 and itself +5. So you're basically making it a 10k extra column. So the Steam Breath, if you use the skill, that's if you discarded a card that turn. So if you discarded a card for a turn, you have Steam Breath in front of it. That's a 33k lane, which is like really good. So this card, I at first was skeptical of it, but after seeing it in action, it's really good. On the grade 1s, you have to run Chrono 2 Tiger. Chrono 2 Tiger is just amazing. The best like first turn ride, because you get a free card during the ride phase when you're on top of this before you ride your grade 2, and then also when you discard it for a cost or whatever, you counterblast 1 and bring it to this board rested and draw a card. So this is probably like the staple of your Chronicle. It's high price for a reason. You really need to ride it. It's amazing card. One of my favorite cards of the deck, Steam Breath. This is the grade 3 searcher, but its main ability is like it gets +5 on a Vanguard rear guard if you discard a card this turn. Like, so basically, if you play the deck right, you're always gonna have the ability go off. It's the best like rear guard like power in terms of power in the deck, in my opinion. Like, especially behind the next stage. This is what you really want. Like, if you can have like multiple rows of this in the back row, that's like ideal. Then funny fact is, I used to run 4 of these. I decided to cut it down to 2. I didn't really need it as much as I thought I would, because you run 4 in Chrono Fang, but in this deck, like, it's not that bad having to ride the next stage from hand, because it still happens. You can still get the ability off if you ride it. So you don't really need to run as many as you want. You can run 3 to 4. I just decided to run 2 because I wanted to have room to ride my Mene. This card is great because when the card is placed in your Vanguard circle when she's on the board. Like, you get to draw a card and discard a card, and like if it's a grade 3 or higher, like you get 3 units +5. So in conjunction with Smoke Gear, this card will always be active, because Smoke Gear makes it so that any card you discard while you're on Chronojet counts as a 3. So she's a perfect way to pump up your board, like making your next stage hit for 20 instead of just regular 15 unboosted. If you're on Force 2, that is, and you can just pump up your other rear guards as well. Or like you can wait till after you destride into Chronojet after your next stage swing, and it will make your Chronojet swing for like 38. So it's really good. It makes your cards hit for extra stages. I like this card a lot, especially like if you're in a bind and you don't see your grade 3 earlier on, you can like place this behind your Vanguard and get yourself an extra draw sometimes, because it's apparently it was a mandatory skill, but some people say you don't have to, but I'd rather use as much as possible, get as much out of the skill. But now for triggers, 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heals. I did try out the Sentinel criteria, but I come to realize that right now it doesn't really do much against certain decks. Like in our locals, you see a lot of other Gear Chronicle decks. You see Royals and you see Neo Nectars. All these decks hit for numbers, or either they block out your Sentinels. So I say, well, I'd rather, if I have to use something that, like, my best guard in the deck, it needs to just cancel out the attack in general. So I'm just running the 4 draw trigger PGs right now too. Plus, it's a draw, so you need hand advantage in this deck. So you might as well just play this. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Like, comment, and subscribe if you don't. Support Cardfight King in his channel. Please, this man needs some help. He needs to get him to 2,000 subscribers, please, so he can do that JoJo playlist like he's supposed to. Get Cardfight King to 2,000 subscribers.
Get him to 2K subs. And remember, guys, Aqua Life Baby, you already know.
Exactly.